Good evening, everyone, and welcome to week two of Prospect Esports for our GOATS tournament. This is our second season today, and we've got two awesome teams coming in to play GOATS for all you viewers. Backseat Gaming versus the Crew. Tell us a bit about how they're going this season, Laurel.
So we have the crew at third place, which by their own team's quote is we won very early on and then we've slowly been coasting downwards. Don't know how tonight will go, but that was quoted by the team. And then Backseat Gaming is in sixth place. So just because Backseat Gaming is in sixth place, the last week, week two, Backseat Gaming stomped down third place and Peachy Mari's was originally third place, and now they are beneath Backseat in seventh place. So this can still very much go in the favor for Backseat Gaming. Sometimes math differential just bites you in the butt real quick.
Yeah, especially as we're, starting to really get into the tournament. We've got sort of backseat is sort of going on the up and up, and the crew is not so much doing that anymore. This is actually really important week, I think, for the crew. If they lose this one, then it's it's very likely that they might not make playoffs this season. So we'll have to see how this goes. Bit on the line.
Yes, now just breaking off that excitement from my dog Nikki, we are going to be going into Busan to start with. That was the choice of Backseat Gaming. Busan is such a fun map to start off with. You have a lot of options for what you can run.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll get this game started. Now, it all depends really on what this first round will end up sort of being, whether we're going to be on like downtown or mecha base or drums, or I've always forgotten what that one's called. Sanctuary, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought Nepal's was named Sanctuary. I'm horrible with names as well for these mini maps. I just call it Nepal with drums, Busan stocks.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so we'll see what we've got. We could have some well, I mean, honestly, it's goats, like, right? So, but are you going to have like a divey goats, or are you going to have just a classic, Moira Zen Lucio? Sorry, Moira Brig Lucio. Who knows? We'll have to see.
Oh,
So it's all about sustain and damage, like
for sure.
getting
Now,
that right balance.
starting off at Mecha Base, I'm expecting to see more Brawl coming out. Like you said, we can go dive, but if we do dive, I'm going to be incredibly shocked. We're most likely going to be seeing that classic Brawly um, tank lineup, and that's exactly what we're seeing here.
Yeah, definitely going to see this Ryan Zarya Diva. I think, for the most part, we will see that today. Downtown, you might see a Winston come out, though probably not, to be honest. I think the most variety we're going to get is certainly going to be in the support line. Both have opted to run the Zen variant of Goats, foregoing the excess sustain for extra damage.
Yeah,
Uh,
you don't need
yeah.
healing if everyone's dead, Athena.
Yes, that's correct. So it's really we're gonna have to look at these Zens to see who's gonna outperform. Starting off, Mighty Al is taking a beating from Saranghe and crew. It's a bit of a problem, I think, they've given up the high ground on the crew there. It's a bit of a problem. Splitting up though, we do have a big split happening from Backseat Gaming, and they're gonna get punished for it, but not before the damage can be dealt by that powerful sort of tank line. Saranghae did die, but they were able to just take care of Mighty L first. Really, whose
Now,
Ryan dies first is where it's at.
now Froggy was able to get away, but accidentally did die beneath. Now, they did give away the high ground to crew because the Quillis fell so early, but we are going to high ground this time. Shatter coming out super early.
Yeah, the
Ooh!
crews maintain cops it here, and we're starting to see a bit of a problem in the sense that in terms of ult charge, oh my goodness, Skittles just used and fat-fingered his Brig ult. I was going to say, you know, that Brig ult is going to be so important this fight for maintaining dominance, but Skittles has fat-fingered and used it far too early. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and not think that that was a choice made.
Yeah, I'm sure that was by pure accident. Now Daquila's being caught out of rotation, falls quickly to Perotalis.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Decrew there, having the Quillis die so quick because they had several ults coming online. They had Brig ult and Zen ult coming online as well as Mighty Owls, and the Brig did use their, their ultimate, and it was just a waste. Now we've got 3 ultimates to 1 ultimate. Ricky briefly swapped to Baptiste, but is now back on the Brig, probably after his team yelled at him. Mighty Owl just a bit late there by Kitty Cat 4 with the trance there, and this is looking very one-sided.
Yes.
Very one-sided indeed.
Now, we do have 88% already in the favor of Backseat Gaming. And unfortunately, they're just not monopolizing on the mistakes that Backseat Gaming has done. We do see a little bit of trying to touch for Froggy, able to pull Backseat Gaming away from the gates. The Shatter coming down, not really connecting with anybody.
Yes, Noah's Ark gets an important pick. Counter bomb coming in, but not good enough. Mighty Owl just getting a massive smash on that grab from the Quillis. Lovely play there. The crew should be able to flip it here. Yes, their Ryan is dead, but Noah's Ark is starting to pop off.
Yes, now we did see that swap to Homie Toucher onto that ball to try to prevent that peak, but they said, I'm not worried about it. We have 99%. We have ults with Skittles as well. We're not really worried about it. We can take our time. That rally coming out super early while Backseat Gamer pushes forward.
Yeah, Homie Toucher here is just trying so hard to get his charge up. Sorry, Homie Toucher rather. I hope it's not any hits after last week. The Quillis gets taken out, and they're just able to come in quite strong. 70 charge on the Zarya, and Songe just throwing his hammer all over the place.
Yes, and I don't think anyone is really going to be able to touch. We do see a ball, but Daquila's accidentally goes off the map instead of swinging around. Oh, you just hate to see those touch picks just not working out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you really, you've really got to get that pick and get that pick on the point and get that pick first. Being, in this way, sort of always being down a man, it feels, on the side of Backseat Gaming, on the side of the crew is a bit of a problem.
Yeah, sometimes it just comes down to the rotation, working against you, or if you accidentally back off the high ground and fall, the rest of the crew did the right thing falling with Daquila's, but it just really hurt them to have to give up the high ground. Now, of course, we are on our favorite map now, drums. And
yes, drums, I like drums, and I think you've got to take that high drum first, and both teams seem to have done that. Ricky on the crew, just trying to smash through. We have had a bit of a role change, not sure how legal that is in the middle of a map, but that's what's happened. So Mighty Owl maybe not feeling too comfortable there on the Reinhardt. Ricky now going for it. While they got there sort of first, they weren't able to capitalize. Might not be working out too much for them. Only 20% on ultimate on the Reinhardt on the crew, whereas Sarange is up at 100% and he gets a big shatter off. He's going to go for a crazy pin, misses, but continues to swing that hammer up at 15% again. Ricky never got his ultimate there, and he's just, Dino here, 72%. It's coming along nicely. We've got 95% there on Skittles. So we should see a rally engage coming in from Backseat Gaming to help them defend this point. And no current ultimates online for the crew.
Yes, now Skittles is definitely making up for that misclick that happened once in the past round, being able to take down Orion with just a flick of their mace. We see this fight happening really far forward by Rock. with the rally coming out early.
Yep, Rally comes out early. Also, Trance has come out on the side of the crew. We're able to maybe get a nice sort of 5-orb or something, but it's all too little. Just too little. You can't win just on that. A Trance alone against a Rally. The Rally's going to last for a bit longer, and this extra speed that comes in is just going to overwhelm that Zen Trance. Really, I think, the correct play there would have been to sort of hold on to that Trance. No, you're going to lose that fight and go for a fight win here. Now with only a Shatter online, Mighty Owl gets taken out as he gets close to that Rally. Ricky gets that Shatter, doesn't really get much out of it. Zen Trance comes in from Dino there just to sort of keep the rest of the team up. But this is looking extremely dominant. We do tend to see this with the Ghost comp. You'll get one team that gets a really big sort of head start in a COF map where they just are sort of more switched on, they're more warmed up maybe. So,
this
looks really prominent.
For Backseat Gaming to really sustain this. Bomb coming out by Noah, unfortunately does not get anything out.
Yeah, unfortunately Noah was not able to get a pick this time. The Mighty Owl is coming up on his ultimate. Can he get it in time? No, he won't. It's just a little too late. Maybe he's not getting his inspires up, and it's just an easy take there by Backseat Gaming.
Yes, now, many of your points, you said sometimes you win early on in GOATs and another team fight just isn't your favor. I think GOATs particularly is sensitive to the map that they are. Sarong Haze, Shatter, I'm sure when they get the 6-man on this was just brutal to watch. Yes, just this massive taking of the entire team by himself, pretty much. I know the rest of Backseat Gaming was there, but Sarong Haze was just a feat to deal with. Now, what I was going to suggest for the crew. Oh, I accidentally left the lobby. I was going to suggest for Backseat Gaming, for the crew was potentially maybe not mirror matching up. They need to pick more of their comfort picks to have a little bit more of sustainability. The mirror matching doesn't always work out if those aren't your best heroes. If Zen's not the wisest choice for you, maybe you should opt in for that Moira so you have a little bit more healing coming out of that. If I could get an invite, please, back from my co-host or my producer.
Yeah,
because
I think a producer should. Oh, no, I can do it. Here we are. Wait, why can't I
Thank
invite
you
you to
so
custom game? Oh,
much. Athena, you are now the lobby owner, by the way, as well.
I'm not the lobby owner, as it were.
But yes, I also want to get a little bit more action from the Twitch chat tonight. Twitch chat has been so quiet. I know the crew has a huge fan base here at Prospect eSports Showdown. I need to hear some love in the chat for the crew and Backseat Gaming.
Yeah, we definitely love to just get that interaction coming from all of you watching at home. So please do get involved. We just love to have that interaction. Uh, yeah. I think there seems to be a little bit of a worry or a concern from the crew for the map pool because, of course, this week, courtesy of the owner of Prospect, don't blame me, please. I know I'm the one who creates these map things, but I was instructed to have the whole map pool available during this goat season in honor of the sort of environment that Goats was in last, where Paris and Horizon Lunar Colony were both choices in the map pool. And Dequillis from the crew seems to not like that so much. He's kind of feeling like they should just forfeit, but the rest of their team is like, no, don't listen to him. He's an idiot. So,
Yes.
Dequillis, you just need to, you agreed to play Goats, so you got to play Goats the way that it was meant to be played on cursed 2CP maps.
Honestly, Paris and Horizon is not that awful. At least Horizon isn't. I feel Paris is very one-sided and awful, but Horizon, you have a lot of options for your first attack. Paris is very one-sided. You have to get through that gate, and if you don't get through that gate, you're dead. Whereas Horizon is, I feel, a more fair map. It's much more like Anubis, in my opinion, where it's just not ideal. It's a 2CP, like, it is what it is, but um, I'm actually surprised that they're going with Paris because
I
I
just
feel the general consensus is people hate Paris over Horizon, but maybe Paris is just easier for us to look
Look,
at.
I think with goats and Paris, it can be quite tough to get through that first point. So maybe they just don't want to play a 9CP, whereas Horizon, you do get those absolute snowballs going on. It is much, much, much harder to snowball on Paris. So I always thought it was interesting, the hate for Paris because nobody likes a snowball, right? And that was the biggest complaint people had for 2CP initially. Remember those games like on both Sky or Horizon Lunatically where you got 7-7, 8-8, all those horrible, score lines. And you never seem to get that with Paris. But, you know, when you take from like one thing where it's like making it too easy to snowball, with Paris, they just made it too difficult to snowball. And it's
Yeah,
kind of like if you lost the first point really quickly, well, you just lost the game because there's no you never know if you're even going to make it through first point. So here you are, you're playing this first point, and then they're taking forever to cap the second point. So you're
yeah,
playing
I
this
can.
long game, like a really long game, because this was before they only added 3 minutes onto the second point.
Yes, I definitely
Um,
can. I definitely can imagine and appreciate that. I do want to make a little note that we are getting that swap. Backseat Gaming is opting in to be defense for Paris to start off. And otherwise, our teams are ready if our producer is ready with those swaps for our assets. Just to quickly interrupt you, but you can continue back with the crazy story of what Paris, the awfulness used to be. In general, they used to add so much more time too if you went into the second full round. So like if you went with time in the bank, they didn't narrow it down to a minute if you were under it. They would just have like 17 minutes versus 30 seconds. But now at least they keep it a little bit more fair. 2CP is still an awful map mode. Just
yes,
putting that out
just,
there.
just to line it, but coming I don't know, hopefully in 2022, Overwatch 2, you'll never be able to run goats because it's going to be 5v5. There's not going to be these 6v6s, and I don't know if, the custom game thing will allow us to have 6v6 and be able to still run these sort of tournaments. Who knows? But, there's not going to be 2CP and there's not going to be goats. So, yeah, there's no way at this stage that we'll ever see this again at this like is what it's looking like. We won't see
Well,
goats on Paris ever again.
the Overwatch 1 is still going to be its own game. I think a lot of people have forgotten that. There is going to be cross-play between Overwatch 1 and 2, but Overwatch 1 is not going anywhere. It's kind of like the Call of Duties. They are going to still be in the system. That's not going to be like WoW, where every expansion, annihilated the previous expansion. So you can still go play Overwatch 1, have a 6v6, or you can play Overwatch 2 and have a 5v5. I do think, though, it's going to cripple Overwatch 1's community, but that option's still going to be there. Plus, and I could be wrong, I thought they had said that they were open to the community's feedback, and they were still, open to the changes. Now, we do see this defense holding really tight in Mega. I know Backseat Gaming likes to do these cheeky defenses where they wait till they walk through a choke and hits them in the butt cheeks.
They're not going to
Like
see this one, and they don't see it. Drunga gets a nice pin onto Mighty Owls. Big picks already. Drunga getting low, having to back up, knows when to back up and let the rest of the team heal them, allowing Anslav to help him out there. But Drunga coming in and also taking out Noah's Ark and Aquilus. Is he looking for a 6K? Can't get it. Anslav and Homie Toucher is cleaning up the rest of that. That was very, very nice, very sneaky. Really appreciated that. I think, part of these problems with the 2CP, especially this one, it's actually quite a long way from Paris first to Paris first point, like from the spawn. So it doesn't really open itself up to this sort of thing. Kitty Cat for just trying to get a little bit of poking off, but goes a little bit too close, gets absolutely destroyed. It's a
First
little
team
bit
kill of
unfair
this.
watching Saranghae here.
Yeah, first team kill of this round for Paris. Now we do see Ulds already coming out, Skittles having their rally. We don't have anything for the crew, which is going to make it even harder to make this push. They're still running that Zen, which I worry that they're just not going to have that sustainability for their healing to make it through. This dangerous choke rally does come out.
Yeah, rally coming out there by Skittles. Very effective in keeping their team alive, but Kitty Cat 4 did have the trance, and a shatter has come out by Ricky. They haven't yet got a pick, and Mighty Owl goes down first, and a big shout out there also to Anslov. He was able to eat that grab, which is very good, but someone has snuck through, trying to get a tick, not quite able to get it. Nice try there by Froggy Bear.
Yeah, I quite even noticed that Froggy Bear is known to do these kind of back caps. The team just kind of sacrifices themselves without their Lucio, and Froggy Bear has been successful in actually full capping things in the past, so keep an eye out for Froggy Bear. He's gonna do things like that all night long.
This is just so unfortunate. Just having this one single choke point just makes it so hard to engage on. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
A brawl just destroys this comp. You know, brawl defense is just so much stronger than brawl attack on this point.
Yeah.
They almost have to consider maybe going, you know, for like a divey brawl instead. Maybe just seeing the monkey in there with the diva.
Like a
as
rush.
a bit of a distraction almost, you know, like a rush, yeah.
Yeah, I think a rush could be useful, you know, or even just full dive. They need to change something. They only have 60 seconds on the clock. Something's gonna have to give. They're not gonna be losing any ults if they do a switch. Rally coming out early, but the shatter getting disrupted.
A big beat there coming from Crotalus though. A very good bomb coming out from Noah's Ark. Will this one get any? No, not today. So far he's only had the one kill with his bomb. They don't really seem to be comboing their ultimate very well. Arslab coming in with a double kill with his bomb. Just absolutely popping off. Very impressive to watch. Very easy for us to get, you know, a little bit sort of sidetracked with the main tanks because they're just so up front. But you can see, you know, Saranghae did get picked off during that fight. But, you know, Anslov and also Homie Toucher were there to sort of, you know, carry the fight without him. So
yeah, we saw Noah trying to push through, trying to make this touch happen, but does get dismeched and cannot touch in time. Froggy Bear also just slightly short of that point. This first round is going with 0 ticks in the bank for Decrew, a really strong hold by Backseat Gaming. I remember now why I hate Paris so much so, because at least the other two CP maps that have kind of like this single choke, they have ways around it. Like, even technically Eichenwald is guilty of this too. Unless you do a flyer or you dive over that building, there is no way around that one choke. And it does not do well, whereas at least Volskaya has that little window, Hanamura has a little window where you can kind of off-angle from each other, but Paris really is just one way in, and unless you're really adaptive, it's going to suck. Now, we do still, again, see the same compositions coming out from both sides, which maybe this will bode well for Decrew's defense, but, you know, it hasn't in the past with Kitty Paw being on Zen and Froggy Mighty being on Brig Lucio. They're not bad choices, but against Backseat Gaming, we're going to need something a little bit more punchy. Now, Ricky looks like he's trying to take a move out of Backseat Gaming, but unlike Backseat Gaming, the rest of the team isn't with him, and he's going to die really fast if he doesn't pull back. Which thankfully he does.
Alright, let's see whether Ricky can outsmart Saranghae on this first defense. The defensive thing, they're holding quite far back. They're not playing that small room like Backseat Gaming did. So let's see how this Ryan 1v1 sort of goes off here. Ricky is just getting deleted almost straight away. but his team is doing a really good job of keeping him up, but he's not able to play far forward in his team. His team going sort of around him. He's trying to farm up, but can't do it. 33% only to that 85. And this is going to be a very, very quick match there by Backseat Gaming. It's a bit sad.
Yeah, Froggy Bear trying to do that last little contest at the end to prevent that tick, but 4 minutes in the bank, or 4:20 in the bank with only a Lucio to stall, it just wasn't enough. Saronghae getting play of the game again. Which shatters are gonna be this time? Oh,
That's
just
a
barely.
6-man. Absolute
Yeah.
6-man. I mean, look, looking at that, even just looking at that play of the game there, we can see exactly what the crew's problem is. They're not at all playing around their Rhine. I mean, they're playing around him in, like, legitimately. They're literally all around him, not behind him. You know, so where that support is coming from and who he needs to defend, he's having a real problem where he can't actually defend everyone. And in the end, it actually means that he defends no one.
Yeah,
Because he's trying to position himself in a way to protect the rest of his team. But that just opens up all that space for Anslav with that, and
for sure.
Saranghae to just bully them. Because,
And
they're getting some CC there from both Anslav and Saranghae with that, like, has a bit of a displacing effect. Yeah, it's just no good for them.
on that note, though, we will be going to a short break. Of course, this being a first to 3, we always like to have a break after our second match for the night. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. One night I was laying in my kennel thinking it would be great to have thumbs. But I also thought it'd be great to be a millionaire. Did you know that with some wise investments, you and I could both be millionaires, but only one of us would still have the thumbs? Dogecoin is a rapidly approachable cryptocurrency available for purchase on Trust Wallet, Binance, US depending on your state, Crypto.com, and Robinhood, but I really don't recommend Robinhood. Dogecoin and all investments are with the risks, so be sure to first be of age before investing, do your research, have those diamond hands with those juicy, juicy thumbs, and just be smart with your money and only invest when you can. Dogecoin proudly presents Prospect eSports Showdown, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
10-minute break, unless it's like the grand final where we're going to be talking for 7 maps.
No.
And I think the other, 5 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
5 minutes.
we tend to do 5 minutes,
Okay.
unless it's been a really close match, and this is our second break. back, everybody, to Prospect eSports Showdown GOAT Season 2. I'm Lauror. Welcome back from the ad. Athena, are you feeling refreshed from that ad break?
Oh, I'm feeling absolutely refreshed as we go into our favorite map for the GOATS tournament, GOATS Row. I don't think anyone was ever going to pick the other map on offer for
Really?
really. I don't think that comes as any
Shocker.
surprise to anyone here that anything but Kings Row would be picked this week. So sorry, Hollywood, but you're just not GOATS material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good map, it's just not a GOATS map.
Indeed it isn't. So let's move on, see if these teams are going to show us something new. See if we've got a little bit of a contest going, because at the moment it's looking very one-sided, Laurel.
Yeah, no, I would be interested to see what our predictions are for this third round. This could be match point. It could go in the bank of Backseat Gaming, but maybe the crew pull something out magical for Kings Row. I would love to be proven wrong, but I have this strong feeling that Kings Row is not going to go in the favor of the crew. It's just a mission, if I can say that.
Yeah, it's looking that way, but I will say, just from my experience in scrims, occasionally, you actually do, for a bit of fun, have a goats map against the other team just for a bit of fun. Certainly, I know that happens, and it's always like on Kings Row, you get like a goat scrim. So, maybe they've had this same experience that I've had, and they're actually a little bit more experienced on Kings Row, on the crew. So they might be in luck. Although I do see Ricky has currently selected the ball, so not really too sure about that. But I mean, maybe if they get the disruption and they can break up Backseat Gaming, then there's a potential, a potential for some picks. You can certainly play this a lot more high damaging. They're choosing the Ana. Honestly, I think if I was going to play, say, a more pokey divey version, I'd probably go for like Ana Zen. But we'll see here. No, we're just sticking to the Zen. Oh, and the Rhine. They always like to sometimes show me something a little different, and I try to sort of visualize how that could work out, but no.
And then they jump beat us every time, Athena. Now they are
I get so
around.
excited. Early pick coming in from Saranghae. I'm just admiring how well the team is doing. Backstreet Gaming is doing with this ability to pocket that Reinhardt so well that he can go for this aggressive pin and not get punished for it. But this time Ricky has beaten Saranghae to the shatter here. So if he can get a really early shatter off, you can see Saranghae knows that Ricky has this shatter, and he's just playing back because he wants to try and get to the same point, and he has succeeded that. Really, the crew needed to just go in there first. Shatter comes out for both Ryans, but Throne got his on first, so they couldn't really aggress on the crew there. And so it's just going to go in the favor of the defenders again.
Yes, now they, of course, being Backseat Gaming, wanted defense again because defense does tend to give you the upper hand, and they're holding this very tightly on the hotel corner. Homie Toucher almost having grab, and Dino having trans so close. They're going to be able to do quite whatever they want on this next rotation coming from the crew to the statue.
Yeah, Saranghae here playing very aggressively. Big grab coming out from Homie Toucher, very nice. Trance does come in, but Saranghae was able to get a pin through that grab and take out Froggy Bear. And once again, the first pick comes in from, actually came in from the crew, but with that grab from Homie Toucher, it just sort of negated that, and so more picks could come in from Backseat Gaming to just prevent any advantage that the crew had on them. So big grab there coming in from Homie Toucher. Another grab coming in, this time from the Quillis. We haven't seen too much come out of him. Trance and Rally come in. Crotalus holding off on that beat, which is good to see. So they're going to have that for the next fight. And so there was no ability there to have any any advantage to be pushed there by the crew, and they didn't force out all the ultimates either from Backseat Gaming, so it's still looking very much in the favor of Backseat. Again, we have 2 ultimates onto 2 ultimates, but I would say that the Shatter is going to be a bit stronger here. Another Shatter coming in is able to separate 2 people who are not standing behind Ricky there. So not able to be defended. And I think this just sort of sprawl. They're more playing sprawl, not brawl. And it's not working out for them.
Yeah, Froggy Bear was the only one who was able to survive that last team fight with his life. He was getting chased down by Homie Toucher, but it just wasn't enough. He was able to wall ride out, which is going to be useful because he's so close to beat now.
Now the good news here is that the crew has 3 ultimates coming up. They do aggressively trans, but Onslaught gets an absolutely massive bomb there, Diva Bomb, and there's a little bit of ego coming in there from Homie Toucher as he solo grabs Kitty Cat Paw.
Yeah, you know, they're not even worried. They only have 20 seconds left on the clock to even get a tick going, and it looks like they're going to be rotating the long way, which is they're not even going to have time to touch if they take too long going the high ground. 10 seconds on the clock. They're going to have to move extremely fast to get anything going at this point.
Skittles is coming up on their rally, and we also have the trans coming out from Dino. Comes up like straight away, knows that this is the last fight. This could be the last fight of the tournament today, because Backseat Gaming is just absolutely styling on the crew. They don't even lose anyone this fight against them. Very nicely done. But you can just see the difference between the 2 teams, just in the way they roll themselves out, the way they path, the way they play around their Reinhardt, really.
Yeah, you know, you do have to give it to the crew to try to do something differently. Walking through the choke just wasn't working for them. What they need to be doing is making those changes sooner in the fight. You know, they have the right ideas like, hey, these things aren't working, let's make some changes. You know, they need to be doing that when they have a minute down, when they have 2 minutes down, not when you only have 10 seconds in the time bank. That's when you're rushing and you're going to make mistakes anyways. You don't want to be doing new things in the last 10 seconds of the map. You know, the crew definitely can turn things in their favor if they remain flexible. Like you said, don't play the sprawl, play the brawl. I'll make it easier for Ricky to protect his teammates with the Shatter blocking ability by his shield. You want to be kissing the butt cheek of Ricky. I'm sure he's very hygienic. Say hi to left and right butt cheek because that's where you want to be when you're in goats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, otherwise Saronghae's shatters are just going to completely annihilate you because anyone playing Ryan knows you just need to get 1-2 supports down, especially in goats, and it goes in your favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the only person who really can be shattered without it destroying your team is probably just Diva, because her ability to sort of stay alive in that situation is quite high, and you're not really going to have a fire strike that you have to eat there either. Big picks already. Saranghae and Crodalist going down. This might be a fight win here for the crew, but there are many more fights to be had. Unslav being pocketed quite well by Homie Toucher there with the bubble, able to keep up the power of Homie Toucher there, and they're still going to, I think, win this fight. They were able to sustain that long. You know, the crew wasn't able to take advantage of those early 2 picks, and this is going to end as quickly as it began.
Yeah, it really did look like there was just a miscommunication of rotation. We saw Froggy Bear going left for the rest of the team, and Daquila started to go right, and it just looked like a mismatch of rotation there. Now, of course, this is going 3-0 to Backseat Gaming, and Onslov definitely deserves this play of the game with that juicy, delicious bomb that came out. Oh, what a good point of view,
it was absolutely beautiful there. I actually think, you know, as well as Saranghae did, I really think the way his team worked around him was very good, and I think Onslav had, look at that, 82% kill participation, 97% base kill. But okay, in defense of like Onslav, you know, Skittles, you're Brig. you just got Inspire up the whole time. Of course, you're gonna have 97%. So I don't exactly want to take away from Skittles there, but to be fair, I feel like the impact, um, particularly that round, was on Onslaught. I really do think
Yeah.
just that bomb was big, the peel was big, the way uh, that he used the Diva Mech's body to actually bear some of the brunt of that. Like he knew he could rely on Homie Toucher to bubble him when Saranke wasn't available, and that just made that last fight like he just the amount of sustain he was able to sort of take as that. It was more like Diva as a main tank. It was quite. I thought it was really good to see. So
Now,
big props there for that
now
round anyway.
I do want to say we do have our MVP for Backseat Gaming on the board. The choices are Saranghe, Ons, Dinosaur, and Crotalus. You know, some of these names you have mentioned, like Saranghe and Ons, definitely superstars, but Dinosaur and Crotalus definitely deserve some shoutouts as being the supports, you know, the unsung heroes of GOATs. Being the Lucio, being the Zenyatta, you don't get a lot of call outs because what you're doing is more passive and just keeping your team up, moving them around where you need to be. But it looks like Dinosil
Yeah,
and Ons is really being in the forefront of who's
yeah. Well, like you said, you were saying that they actually have this more passive thing, but I will say Dinosaur, like they were getting up their ults so quick,
mm-hmm.
and using them really swiftly. So as soon as the grab, it was ready. You know, every time I felt the trance came out at a really, really good time. And of course, a lot of the damage in Goats is going to come from that Discord as well, coming from the Zen. So big props there. And also even Crotalus, not using that beat when Rally and Trance came out and just sort of having that presence to know when to use that sort of game sense of when to use their ult. I think, you could give it to anyone in that team, really. I
Really,
really
I
do think.
definitely agree. Now, who are we going to be thinking of MSP for Backseat Gaming? We could definitely be thinking on that while we have the results coming in for MVP. We also need MVP for the crew.
For me, I think the crew, it's really tough. I I really think perhaps that Kitty Cat Paw was probably the only person who I saw a lot come out of. I think the discords and the opportunism by the Zen play, even though it didn't always work out. I thought it was where it needed to be. Um, and they were probably the only one that was getting up their ults in a decent sort of time frame, for my mind, anyway.
I don't necessarily disagree with that statement. Of course, audience, you get the final decision. Dinosaur does make it for MVP for uh,
Backseat
Backseat
game.
Gaming. Yes. I'm sorry because I accidentally left the lobby again for the second time. I swear I never do this. I've been enjoying the skins while we've been talking about the MVPs. Because I've been working so much, I haven't actually really gotten to log in to really enjoy these skins. But oh my god, the sprinkle skin from May. Like you get a upskirt image immediately. I'm just throwing that
um,
out there.
oh no, you've probably like increased the
The
certain
sales.
certain yeah.
My wife just looked over at me and did the I'm looking at you looking at May face. So MSP, that I feel like MSP is always the hardest one for me to pick out, Athena. Um Now we had the top four for MVP. Do we want to just do by default the bottom two for Backseat Gaming?
Um, maybe not. Look, I don't want to be accused of bullying Skittles. I think they do a good job, but I do recall that rally Fat Finger.
One rally fat finger, but in the next round, Skittles killed Ricky like 7 times in a row. Skittles got the landing shot on Ricky, so I don't know if that's worth making
Look, in
them.
in an in another game, that costs you the game though.
Mhm.
Does it, does one or two or three good deeds outweigh one bad
Well,
one?
I would also say, what about Homie Toucher, excuse
Gotcha.
me, doing the BM grab? Does that also make them qualifying for MSP then? Because they did a BM grab at the end of King's Row.
Ah, so you're saying like, because MSP is most shittiest player,
Of
right?
course,
That's
yes.
so, shittiest does not necessarily mean your gameplay, but your game attitude.
Mm.
Is he an absolute shitter for doing that? We'll let you guys decide. Let's put Skittles and Homie
Homie
Toucher
Toucher.
out there. I think we just make this out of two because they obviously didn't do enough to be qualified as MVP, so it's got to be one of them.
Yeah, so while we get that last vote coming in for MSP, I'm going to go drop down and grab our MVPs of both teams. Athena, I'm sure you can tittle our brains about the wonderful world of Prospect Esports the previous weeks while I go grab our MVP winners.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I hope you guys are all enjoying this season of our Goats tournament. Uh, Certainly, we've seen a lot sort of come out. Does anyone here have any clue of who's going to win this? I thought seeing Backseat Gaming today, and last week I saw Prospect Solo Academy. I'm kind of, predicting. This is my prediction of who we'll see in the playoffs, and I really would love to see those two teams get each other in the playoffs because they've both like hit 2-3 zeros. Very swiftly this past week, and I'd love to see those two tee it off. I don't know. I assume at some point they will verse each other this tournament. So let's hope that we do get to see it. I do know there are some others in, but what sounds like we have our first victim of the interviews has come and joined us. So let's see who it is. Hello, Dino. How are you going?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. And am I saying your name correct? Is it Dino or
Uh,
Dino?
Dino is
Dino.
usually what
Oh
people.
no.
Yeah, all
It's
good.
probably the difference between, I don't know, like an Aussie or something.
Yeah,
So sorry I called you Dino all
it's
day
all
in
good.
the thing, so you can cringe if you rewatch that. Um, yeah, your Zen plays today were very good, and also
Thank you.
the transes were very well timed. Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, how did you find today's game?
It was fun. It was a really fast-paced game. I
Mm,
which I figured that's pretty obvious, but it was pretty fun. I was really happy with how our team comps went. We still have a long way to go, but our team comps have improved a lot. Um,
yep.
and everyone seemed to be like really in it today, so that was nice. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
a good game. Thanks to our subs too that are able to play with us. But yeah,
Well, that's
game.
good to have been so dominant with sub players today. Uh, yeah, so I noticed that you were getting your trances up like really quickly. How do you sort of, manage to
Uh,
get it up that quick? Is it because your team's like focusing your discords more, or are you just getting like 5 orbs every other minute?
I basically I have my orb on Reinhardt the entire time,
Mhm.
and I basically just get a ton of ult charge from that, and then I try my best to just have my orbs on people basically the entire time. If I don't see two names on my bottom right, then it just feels weird. Of
Yeah.
course, unless it's like a team kill, then it's a good
Well,
thing.
there's no one to put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, um I try. There's a few points where if you look, you can see me panicking, just looking around because I know who we're target calling. But there's because of all like the shields and the Zarya bubbles and everything, I
Mhm.
just can't find. I can't just
You
click E
kind of
on
have to
someone.
get the orb on that person. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to get it on the right person when you're Zenyatta playing goats at a really high pace speed.
Mm. But
yeah,
no, that's really good. Like you've sort of mentioned there that it really matters who you're putting your orbs on, and
yeah,
that's sort of more important in a way than getting personal damage off.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
um, it's the sort of thing where like an orb can like the person just gets deleted the second they get orbed.
Mhm.
Like it's still something I'm working on, but yeah, I am happy with how I played today.
Yeah,
Still need
well,
a lot
you
of work,
definitely
but
should
yeah,
be. Yeah, you definitely should be because you did really well. Your
you.
trances were like spot on in terms of
Thank you.
like the time to trance and when to trance. You didn't over trance, so to speak. I think your team seemed to have it sort of that trance was kind of the first one used if there were multiple. Is
Yeah.
that yeah, accurate, I guess?
Uh, I try to use it as quickly as possible. Usually what happens is I can be a little bit hesitant sometimes, but I try to use it as early as possible, and I try to use it when it'll get the most value. So I don't pop it. I try not to pop it when everyone's like full health or like it'll do nothing.
Yep,
Which
yep.
that's something I should probably also fix because sometimes I pop it and I just barely get it off, and that's a
Yeah,
bit of a
yeah.
dangerous situation. But I just try to do it when I think that like I our break probably if especially if we don't have a break up, I that's when it's a
Yeah.
big like I need to trans. I ch- I just try to keep track of if there's more than one person crit, then it's kind of in the danger zone,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, that's a good way to sort of think about it as to when to use it. Because you know, certainly I've played in teams where they wait too long to set the trance off. So no, they were really, really good. Laura, do you have any questions?
Nope, I am good. I have more questions for the MSP
Mhm.
than for the MVPs. But thank you so much for joining us, Dino Cell, and
You
congratulations again on your worthwhile win of MVP, which was not stacked at all in the votes.
yes, thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Hey, you too.
Now, another Dino joining us, Dino Nuggies, is joining us for MVP of the crew because the crew unfortunately all left, so it was just Kitty Paw and Dino, and Kitty joined us last time.
So Kitty's had enough of our inquiries.
Nah, Kitty wanted to share the spotlight.
Oh, that's very sweet. Well, I'll let you take over for this one. My voice is sort of, you might be able to hear it going. We're having a small bit of a COVID outbreak here, so it always makes me a little bit nervous when
Oh
my throat starts
no!
to be. Please
Of
just be a cold.
course.
It's very cold here, so hopefully it's just the weather playing tricks on me.
Yes, for all of us NA fans, Athena is in Australia and it's in the morning for her. She literally said good morning. So, Dino Nuggies, thank you so much for joining us and congratulations on your honorary MVP.
Thank you.
So, tell me, how was the energy in the crew tonight?
Uh, Not how we wanted. It
Yeah,
wasn't negative towards all of us, but it wasn't, build up energy. It was just kind of, uh, we knew our mistakes. We knew we needed to play better. So everybody was kind of down on themselves as we came into the later maps.
yeah, Decrew is well known in Prospect Esports for being a little ray of sunshine. You guys are always so positive. So, was mental a big struggle tonight? Is that ultimately what you're saying?
Yeah, it is. It was a big challenge because we had a lot of uh, our comms were not there. We took, though it may seem weird to say, we took way too many staggers and stuff. And ultimately, like, we know our goals and we just didn't execute them.
Yeah, well, every team has a bad night, and what's important is at the end of it, you guys stay friendly to each other. You keep up that internal bond that you have with the crew, and you'll get back in your positive swing of things. I do know that, not every match is going to go your way, not every mental battle is going to go your way, and I know the crew is going to be able to swing it back in your favor.
Yeah, certainly. I think you guys definitely, like you said you guys know your mistakes. So hopefully you can come away from that with a more sort of better understanding on how to fix those, and so you guys can come back a whole lot stronger next week.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I don't know if the crew has already done their second game for this week. I haven't looked at the scores yet, but
We're
you know,
we're casting
two.
tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right, because I'm also casting you guys tomorrow too. So take tonight to recharge. Maybe have some just casual fun tomorrow morning, but have a VOD, do some serious talk. But the ultimate takeaway for goats here at Prospect is to have fun, because this is the off season, and the weird reality of goats is it's a mixed SR. It's a hot bag of Cheetos, and um the ultimate goal is to have some fun. And when you stop having fun, that's when you really lose.
Yep, that's one thing we always say is we're here to have fun. Even
Yeah.
if we lose, we're having fun, and we definitely do attest to the mixed SR. We've got people from like silver all the way up to flat diamond,
Oh,
and
for sure.
yeah. So we just need to work as a unit and as friends, and we should hopefully find our stride and where we really hit the flow state, as I like to say.
Yeah, and if any team can do it, the crew definitely can. I have full faith in you. Like I said, the crew is well known for their friendship and their loyalty, and I feel like I'm almost going a little My Little Pony-esque, but I truly mean that, and I know you guys will be back good to go before we even can say onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I'm like, I know that was cringy, but thank you so much for joining us, Dino Nuggies, and congratulations again on your MVP. We will see you guys tomorrow for your other casted match. I'll be in the booth as well. Hopefully, maybe MVP again? Question mark, Dino?
Yep, maybe back when I'm on my signature role of Brig and not
Yes.
playing Ryan.
Yes.
yeah, we
Exactly.
did note that today. But yeah,
Yeah.
you have a good one for the rest of the night. Come back refreshed and stronger tomorrow. That'll be at 10 p.m. EST, I believe.
Yes. I prefer the later matches because I don't know, I get more into the later matches now. I get a longer break. So um thanks for being here, Dino. We're going to get the MSP from Backseat Gaming here. Homie Toucher now in the booth with us. Homie Toucher, there's only one reason you're in here, and it's because of the solo grab you did on King's Row.
Ah, I see.
In
The
in a,
sat
in a one fight that was, only one person left to
Yeah.
kill.
Well,
This was
I was looking for a creative stagger.
it was creative. I do have to give you that. Now, the long answer is I was just trying to prevent Skittles from being MSP again as an option. So I said, no, Homie Toucher did a throwaway alt as well, so they're eligible too. And the audience agreed with me. So, Sag, or Homie Toucher, tell me, is Zarya one of your mains for playing, or is this just for goats?
This is just for goats. I normally play DPS.
So, I mean, Zarya is pretty much DPS, just with the
Yeah,
tank lifeline.
yeah, it's pretty much just put your mouse on the target and track.
Yeah, and just bubbles occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
So do you usually play the tracker heroes like Tracer, or are you more of a flex DPS or
I'm
single
more of a
player?
Kree one trick.
Mmm.
So do you find a little bit of a, because obviously Kree is much more sort of flicking than tracking per se. Do you find the Zarya a little bit more difficult that it has that tracking element, or you're just like an aim god?
I'm just subpar, I would say.
So,
at the tracking or both?
Add a little bit of both, I would say.
so
Couldn't.
maybe I should venture in saying perhaps you should switch to Zarya during your main season then, because your Zarya is not subpar at all.
I don't know. I have a lot of trouble when it comes to bubbling. As most of my Reinhardts would say, I do whiff a lot.
Ah, I see. I see.
Did did Saranghe have any problems today with your bubbles? Was there a bit of a cursing going on at you, or you managed to sort of clutch up in the bubble department today?
No, I think he was having a splendid time with my involvement.
It's a very specific way of saying it. I press F for doubt for Saranghe being splendid by anything.
Yes, I think if anyone has played with him, uh, yeah, that's definitely not a term I would say.
That explains Saranghe in any way, shape, or form.
Honestly,
I would say he's a
being
very
sarcastically.
boisterous man.
Boisterous man.
That's accurate.
We'll go with that. No, I'm sure there was quite a lot of energy, I think, Dino was saying in your comms today for the team. Would you agree with that?
Yes, of course, as normally I talk very loudly in the comms, as most people realize.
I have not played with you, so I'll have to take your word for it.
Yes, I'm very vocal.
I think I played like that Pug S scrim with you once, but it was only one time in I think one round because that was the day that Brian was just switching us every map.
Yeah, it was the little team thing that we did.
Yeah, the thing that Brian likes to call a scrim, but really is a pug that's being forced on you.
Yes.
Well, homie, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations, quote, on being MSP for tonight. But we should probably wrap it up for the crew versus Backseat Gaming. You know, as Athena already mentioned, we will be back here tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern for the crew again. And so I'm excited to be there. I will be casting alongside. Excuse me, I'll be casting alongside New Beats, and Lindsay will be our producer. We're going to be seeing Mathlete again, an audience favorite from CC Vortex. So don't go anywhere tomorrow night at 10 p.m. That's where we're going to be here on Twitch.
Fantastic stuff. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.
You just gotta keep moving forward.